What if I told you that a single line of computer code created by a mystery person nobody has ever met is now worth more than the entire economy of some countries? It sounds like the plot of a crazy sci-fi movie, right? But it's 100% real. This isn't just a fun fact to share with your friends, it's a financial revolution happening right now, under our noses. People have become millionaires and even billionaires from this digital invention. It's changing everything we thought we knew about money, and you are living through this massive shift. The question isn't whether this is happening, it is. The real question is, are you going to pay attention? This digital phenomenon is called Bitcoin. You've probably heard the name whispered online, seen it in headlines, or watched a YouTuber scream about it after its price went to the moon. But most people just nod along, pretending they get it. They don't want to admit they have absolutely no idea what it is. They hear crypto and their brains just shut down. That's a huge mistake. Understanding Bitcoin is like getting a sneak peek into the future. It's like someone in 1995 trying to understand the internet. It seemed weird and complicated then, but now we can't imagine our lives without it. The truth is, Bitcoin is simpler than you think. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius or a computer hacking prodigy to understand the basics. By the end of this, you'll know more about Bitcoin than 99% of people. We're going to break it down piece by piece with no confusing jargon and no boring lectures. Simple, straight-to-the-point facts that make you feel like you've unlocked a new level. This isn't just about money, it's about power, freedom, and a whole new way of looking at the world. So get ready. We are about to pull back the curtain on the biggest financial secret of the 21st century. Forget what you thought you knew. Things are about to get interesting. We're going on an adventure to see if this is the next big thing or the biggest flop in history. We'll look at the good, the bad, and the insane. By the time we're done, you'll be able to decide if you want to be part of this revolution or watch from the sidelines. Let's dive in and expose the truth no one has ever told you about Bitcoin. Alright, let's get straight to the point with no fluff. Here is the one-sentence definition you need to remember. Bitcoin is a digital currency you can send directly to anyone in the world without needing a bank. That's it. That's the core idea. It's like an email, but instead of sending a message, you're sending value. Imagine you want to send $100 to a friend across the ocean. Normally, you'd have to go through a bank or a service like PayPal. They take a fee. It takes a few days. They can even block the transaction. Bitcoin was designed to fix all of that. Think of it like digital cash. Use morph animation. When you hand someone a $20 bill, you don't need to ask a bank for permission. It's a direct exchange. Bitcoin aims to be the digital version of that. It's money that lives on the internet, secured by powerful computer code instead of a vault. You control your own Bitcoin with a special digital wallet. No one can touch it without your permission. Not your bank, not your government, not even the people who created Bitcoin. You are your own bank. This simple idea is what makes it so powerful and revolutionary. It isn't controlled by any single person. It isn't controlled by any single company. It isn't controlled by any single government. It's global. New York, Tokyo. A small village with no access to traditional banks. As long as you have an internet connection, you can use Bitcoin. This is huge for the billions who are unbanked. People who don't have access to basic financial services. For them, Bitcoin isn't just an investment, it's a lifeline. It's a way to participate in the global economy. So, to recap, Bitcoin is internet money. It's fast, it's global. It cuts out the middleman. You don't need a bank account to use it. You have total control over your funds. It was created in 2009 by a mysterious figure known only as Satoshi Nakamoto. He disappeared, leaving Bitcoin to the world. It's the original cryptocurrency and the one that started this movement. Now that you know what it is, let's get into the really cool part. How this whole system actually works without a boss in charge. So, how does Bitcoin work without a bank or a CEO to run the show? It's actually a genius system. It comes down to 3 key ingredients. The first ingredient is your digital wallet. This isn't a physical wallet. It's an app or program that stores Bitcoin. Every wallet has a unique public address, like an email or account number. If someone wants to send you Bitcoin, you give them this address. It's a long string of letters and numbers you can share with anyone. The second ingredient is your private key. This is the super secret part, like a password but far stronger. It proves you own the Bitcoin in your wallet. Never ever share your private key with anyone. If someone gets it, they can steal your Bitcoin, and there's no customer service to reverse it. Public address equals sign receiving, private key equals sign sending. This is the foundation of your personal security. The third ingredient is the network of computers. When you want to send Bitcoin, you press send on your wallet. You use your private key to sign a transaction message. The message says, I'm sending X from this address to that address. You broadcast that message to thousands of computers around the world. These computers, called nodes, check the transaction is valid. They confirm you actually have the Bitcoin and prevent double spending. Once agreed, the transaction is added to the official record book. Think of a massive global spreadsheet everyone can see but no one can change. That spreadsheet is the blockchain. Once locked in, your transaction is permanent and irreversible. The whole process takes minutes, not days. Summary: secret key sends from your wallet. Global network confirms. Recorded forever on the blockchain. No boss, no bank, just math and code. Let's talk more about that magic spreadsheet I mentioned, the blockchain. This is the absolute core of Bitcoin and the invention that makes it all possible. The word blockchain sounds super technical, but the idea is simple. Imagine a digital notebook. Every page in the notebook is a block. Each block is filled with a list of recent Bitcoin transactions. Once a page is full, it gets added to the notebook. A new page is started. Here's the cool part. Each new page is cryptographically linked to the page before it. That forms a chain of blocks, hence the name blockchain. This chain is what makes the blockchain so secure. Because each block links to the one before it, you can't change an old transaction without breaking the whole chain. If a hacker tried to alter a transaction in block number 100, they'd also have to redo the work for block 101, 102, 103, every single block that came after it, all the way to the present. That would require an impossible amount of computing power, making the transaction history essentially tamper-proof. It's like changing a word on page 50 of a book already printed and distributed to 1 million people. Now, the other secret ingredient, decentralization. That digital notebook isn't stored in one place. It's not on a server at Bitcoin headquarters. There is no Bitcoin headquarters. Instead, a copy of the entire blockchain is held by thousands of different people, the nodes we talked about, on their computers all over the world. This is what decentralization means. No central point of control. No single person or group can decide to shut it down, block a transaction, or change the rules. It's a system run by the community for the community. This is the opposite of our traditional financial system. Your bank account is centralized. The bank stores your data on private servers and controls your money. They can freeze your account, block payments. They are vulnerable to a single point of failure, like a hack on their central server. With Bitcoin, power is distributed across the network. To take down Bitcoin, you'd have to shut down thousands of computers in hundreds of countries at once, which is practically impossible. A secure blockchain plus decentralization. Bitcoin's true superpower. One of the most important and honestly mind-blowing facts about Bitcoin is this. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Ever. That number is hard-coded into Bitcoin's original programming and, well, it can never be changed. This isn't like regular money where governments and central banks can just decide to print more whenever they feel like it, which often leads to the money in your savings account becoming worth less over time. This process is called inflation, and it's kind of a silent tax on your wealth. Bitcoin was specifically designed to be immune to this. This limited supply is what makes Bitcoin a hard asset, similar to gold. We can't just create more gold out of thin air. We have to mine it out of the ground, and there's only a finite amount of it on Earth. In the same way, new Bitcoin are created through a process called mining. This is where powerful computers on the network compete to solve an extremely complex math problem. The first miner to solve the problem gets to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain and is rewarded with a certain amount of brand new Bitcoin. This is the only way new coins enter the system. The system is designed to release new Bitcoin at a predictable and, decreasing rate. When Bitcoin first started, the reward for mining a block was 50 BTC. But about every 4 years, an event called the halving happens, which cuts the mining reward in half. It went from 50 to 25, then to 12.5, then to 6.25, and so on. This process will continue until the last fraction of a Bitcoin is mined, sometime around the year 2140. After that, no new Bitcoin will ever be created again. This makes Bitcoin increasingly scarce over time. This scarcity is a fundamental part of Bitcoin's value. Think about basic economics. When the supply of something is limited and demand for it increases, what happens to its price? It goes up. The 21 million cap ensures that Bitcoin is a deflationary asset, meaning its purchasing power is more likely to increase over the long term, rather than decrease like regular currency. This makes it an attractive store of value for people who want to protect their savings from inflation. It's not just digital money, it's digital gold. So we've covered what Bitcoin is and how it works, but let's get to the big question: why does any of this matter to you? First, Bitcoin is becoming a serious asset recognized by big companies and smart investors, companies like Tesla Block Inc., major institutions like Fidelity BlackRock. This isn't some niche hobby anymore, it's going mainstream. Second, Bitcoin has real-world uses changing lives. In countries with unstable governments and hyperinflation like Venezuela, like Argentina, people's life savings can be wiped out overnight as their local currency becomes worthless. For them, Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a tool for survival. It lets them preserve wealth in a global, censorship-resistant asset that their government can't seize or devalue. It's a financial escape hatch. It also enables cheap and fast international remittances, helping people send money back home without losing a huge chunk to fees. Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Bitcoin is surrounded by controversy. The biggest criticism is energy consumption. The mining process uses massive electricity, raising environmental concerns. While it's energy intensive, many miners are moving toward renewable energy sources. The debate is ongoing: is the energy use justified to secure a global, non-governmental monetary system? It's a complex issue with passionate arguments on both sides. Another major controversy is illicit use. Because Bitcoin can be used somewhat anonymously, it's been associated with dark web markets and criminal organizations. However, the blockchain is a public ledger. Every transaction is traceable. Law enforcement is getting very good at tracking transactions, leading to many high-profile arrests. Cash remains the preferred medium for many illegal activities, especially large bills like the $100 bill, because it's truly anonymous and untraceable. Bitcoin is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. I'm not going to lie to you, investing in Bitcoin is not for the faint of heart. The number one risk you need to understand is volatility. The price of Bitcoin can swing wildly. It's not uncommon for the price to drop 20%, 30%, or even more in a very short period. We've seen it go on incredible bull runs, making people rich, and then crash dramatically, causing panic. You have to have a strong stomach and be prepared for this roller coaster ride. You should never ever invest more money than you are willing to lose. I'm serious. Don't bet your rent money on Bitcoin. The second major risk is security, specifically your personal security. Remember how I said you are your own bank? That's a double-edged sword. It gives you freedom, but it also gives you all the responsibility. If you lose your private keys, your Bitcoin is gone forever. There is no password reset button. If you fall for a scam and send your Bitcoin to a thief, there is no fraud department to call to reverse the transaction. You are 100% responsible for keeping your assets safe. This means using secure wallets, backing up your keys, and being extremely careful online. Speaking of scams, the crypto world is filled with them. Because this technology is new and many people don't fully understand it, scammers have a field day. You will see fake giveaways on social media, phishing emails trying to steal your keys, shady projects promising guaranteed returns. They will try to create a sense of urgency, telling you to act now before you miss out. Rule number 1, if something sounds too good to be true, it absolutely is. Be skeptical of everything. Do your own research and never trust anyone online who promises you free money or guaranteed profits. Finally, there's the risk of government regulation. Governments around the world are still trying to figure out what to do with Bitcoin. Some countries have embraced it while others have tried to ban it. The rules can change quickly, and new regulations could have a big impact on Bitcoin's price and usability. For example, a country could impose strict taxes on crypto gains or make it harder for banks to work with crypto companies. This regulatory uncertainty is a constant cloud hanging over the market, and it's a risk you have to be aware of before you get involved. So, what does the future hold for Bitcoin? Is it going to the moon, as the crypto fans say, or is this whole thing a bubble waiting to pop? There are two main schools of thought. The bulls, or the optimists, believe we are still in the very early days. They see Bitcoin as the foundation of a new decentralized financial system. They believe its price will continue to climb as more people adopt it as a store of value, a digital gold protecting against inflation. Some bullish predictions say $500,000 per coin, some say $1 million. Growing adoption is their proof. You can now buy things with Bitcoin at major retailers, get a Bitcoin rewards credit card, get paid your salary in Bitcoin in some cases. El Salvador made history by adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. The bulls say as the technology improves and gets easier to use, and as layers make transactions faster and cheaper, Bitcoin's utility could explode, leading to mass global adoption. Then the bears, the pessimists. They call Bitcoin a speculative asset with no intrinsic value. They compare it to tulip mania, a bubble that could crash to zero. They point to wild price volatility. They point to environmental impact. They point to use by criminals. They warn governments may crack down with harsh regulations, or a better cryptocurrency could replace Bitcoin. The bears say Bitcoin is too slow and expensive for everyday use. It's great for large transfers, but impractical for buying a cup of coffee. For a currency to win, it needs stability and efficiency, areas Bitcoin has struggled with. The truth is, no one knows for sure who is right. Both sides make compelling arguments. The future of Bitcoin is unwritten, one of the most exciting, high-stakes experiments of our lifetime. We have been on a wild ride. We started with the million-dollar question. We exposed the truth behind magic internet money. We broke down what Bitcoin is, a digital currency that lets you be your own bank. We dove into the secret sauce that makes it all work. Ultra-secure blockchain, power of a decentralized network. We uncovered why its limited supply of 21 million coins matters, why that's different from the money we use every day. You now know more about Bitcoin than almost everyone else. You have the fundamental knowledge. We also looked at why this stuff actually matters. Giant corporations buying it by the billion. Ordinary people using it to escape inflation. Bitcoin is already making a huge impact, but we didn't ignore the scary parts: insane price swings, the responsibility of securing your own coins, endless scams you need to watch out for, the threat of government rules changing the game overnight. Understanding the risks is as important as the rewards. Never forget that. So here we are, you're at a crossroads.